to the Gloriously Good Food kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to make my remarkably simple and relatively low-fat fiery chicken chowder. So first of all, let's take a look at the ingredients. For the chicken chowder, the first thing you need is chicken. Here I have some chopped chicken thighs. You're looking for about 3 thighs, skinned and boned, which comes to about 240-250 grams. Then you need some chopped potatoes. You can see they're in quite big chunks here. You're looking at about 4 medium-sized potatoes, so about 450 grams. Then you want a large tin of sweet corn. Drained weight in this case is 285 grams. Don't worry if you don't get the exact sizes, the flavours will still be there. Then, as we're making this relatively low fat, 15 grams of butter. And then to make it nice and rich and thickening, you want 4 tablespoons of plain flour. Then we have 2 litres of chicken stock. You can of course make that yourself, or in this case I've used Knorr chicken stock pots, which I find are very, very good. Then salt to taste. Chili flakes, I like to use quite a few, but I don't put them all in during cooking because my children don't like it quite as fiery as I do. And then 4 cloves of chopped garlic. Okay, so here's how you make the fiery chicken chowder. Get some heat onto your big stock pot. That's always the trick to good cooking, in my opinion, a good stock pot. So we'll start off with the butter. Get that melting. Once your butter's melted, you can add the chicken. And at this point you also need the garlic. And it is a lot of garlic. The trick to this chowder is not only its fieriness, but the fact that it is beautifully garlicky. You can hear that starting to sizzle. So what we'll do at this point is season it with a bit of salt. How much will be down to taste, really. And then some ground chili flakes. Now remember, this is a fiery dish. I'm only putting a little bit in here because my children don't like it very fiery, and we then put this on the table and serve it with the soup so everybody can make it as fiery as they want it themselves, but that's entirely up to you. Stir it around, make sure you brown the chicken. Once the chicken's nicely browned and sizzling away, turn down the heat and get the flour in there. And at this point it's going to get quite hard work, so it's good work for those muscles. Get all the flour in there. And it will look like everything's going to horribly stick, but you're looking to nicely get the chicken coated. There you go. And then you gradually add stock to this. So it's like making white sauce, but we're using stock instead of milk. And to make sure it doesn't go lumpy, you add the stock a little bit at a time. Actually here, having the chicken in it helps as opposed to making a traditional roux. If it's going too fast, you can turn the heat off at this point. And don't add any more stock until what you have in there has essentially made a paste. There you go, that's thickening nicely. you're worried and it's looking lumpy, just keep going until it's nicely back into a paste. Okay, add a bit more. As you can see, gradually as we're adding more stock, you're now ending up not so much with a paste, but with a nice, smooth, thick sauce. And at this point, you can start adding stock in larger quantities. You can see it goes in nicely there. And you keep doing this until you can add all the stock. At this point, you turn the heat right up again, add the potatoes, add the sweet corn, and that is basically it. We're going to let that come up to the boil, and as soon as it comes up to the boil, we're going to turn the heat down and let that simmer for about 20 minutes, half an hour. You want the potatoes to be cooked and soft, but not so that they're falling completely apart. And we'll take a look at that when it's ready. Right, so the chowder has been simmering now, as you can see, bubbling away for about 20 minutes, and it's ready. One way to make sure is if you take one of the large pieces of potato, and I mean, you can see here, but if you're not sure, just squish it gently against the side and you can see it just starts to fall apart, but it does take a little bit of pressure to do that. So it's cooked, but it's not disintegrating. So we're going to turn this off and let's have a look at the finished product. There you have it. Gloriously good, fiery chicken chowder.